Hi, my name is Kylie and I'm a sophomore in creative writing. Today I'm joined by Professor Felisa Vergara Reynolds in the Department of French for the 940 series. Come join us in our conversation. Hi, Professor. Thank you so much for joining us today. Would you like to introduce yourself and what you do here at U of I?
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Felisa Vergara Reynolds. I'm an associate professor in the Department of French and Italian. I teach literature in French from outside of France, the Caribbean, West Africa, and a little bit of North Africa.
And how long have you been with the U of I, and what did you do before coming here?
My first semester at the U of I was January of 2015, and before that I taught at another university.
And what's your research expertise?
My area of expertise is analyzing the legacy of colonialism and its impact on cultural production coming from former colonies, the aforementioned Caribbean, West Africa, and North Africa, and cultural production being literature and film, mostly.
Cool. And what is your favorite course to teach here as a professor, and why?
I have two favorite courses I teach here. One is a graduate seminar that I teach on Marie Condé, who is one of my favorite authors. And the other course is a course that is actually outside my area of expertise, but it is a course on Paris. It's FR 156. It's a pretty popular course. It's actually gotten written about in the News Gazette. I love teaching that course because it allows me to talk about Paris, which is one of my favorite cities, but I take it from its earliest days to a little bit after World War II, when we cover art, architecture, literature, history, politics. So I really appreciate being able to touch on all those subjects, and the students really seem to enjoy it.
Sounds great. What is your favorite aspect of French to teach?
My favorite aspect of French to teach is to show students that there's so much cultural production in French from outside of France, obviously because of colonialism, but it's interesting, I think, for students to see that there's all this fantastic literature and film coming out of other countries that are in France but is still in French.
Definitely. And what's a project that you're working on that you're really excited about?
I'm really excited about a project I just completed, which is the publication of my book, and it came out in January. It's called The Author as Cannibal, and it takes a look at the ways in which writers from these former colonies in the Caribbean, West Africa, and North Africa rewrite the European canon as a critique of colonialism and the critique of the legacy of colonialism. So I just finished that. It came out in January, so right now I'm doing a little bit of promoting it across a couple of conferences and venues. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Okay, and now I have some rapid fire questions.
Okay, let's do it.
What is your favorite place to eat on campus?
My favorite place to eat on campus is my new office, because I have a beautiful window that looks out over a beautiful tree and I can see squirrels playing and the students walk by, and it's a nice little place to just have a quiet lunch.
Sounds cozy.
Yes.
And what's the best book that you've read this year so far?
So far, it's a book I'm still reading. I'm reading Salman Rushdie's account of the time after he just finished publishing Satanic Verses. It's called Joseph Anton. I'm a big fan of Salman Rushdie's and really enjoying reading this book right now.
What's one piece of advice you give your 18-year-old self?
The biggest piece of advice I would give my 18-year-old self is that you belong. As a Mexican-American woman, I found myself in undergrad being one of the few, if not the only one in my classes. Throughout graduate school, even fewer Latinx students around me, and as I made my way up through academia, again, fewer and fewer Latinx people around me, and sometimes you get to feeling that you don't belong. So I would absolutely tell my 18-year-old self, and maybe sometimes remind myself sometimes, that you do in fact belong and you do deserve to be where you are. So absolutely, you belong there is the biggest piece of advice I would give my 18-year-old self.
Yeah, I definitely think students should know that. And coffee or tea, and where would you get it?
Coffee every time. My favorite place to get coffee is Espresso Royale. They do a great vanilla and caramel latte that I love, so definitely there. It's a student one.
What's your favorite U of I memory?
My favorite U of I memory would be visiting here for the first time when I was doing my campus visit when I was being hired. I remember thinking, I can't imagine ever being this cold again. And it's funny because I've actually gotten used to the cold. So it's just funny to think back and on being so cold during that campus visit while I was interviewing, and now it hardly phases me. So that's a funny memory for me.
Okay, and then our final question is orange or blue, and why?
So for this, I would have to say blue because I look terrible in orange, but definitely blue. And I even wore a little bit of blue today to represent the orange and blue.
I definitely agree. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you so much everybody for watching.
Thank you.